What's up, everybody? Can you all hear me and see me? And hopefully, welcome, Cosmin. Is audio working? Let me get a mic check from somebody. Someone say yes. Nick, please tell me. How's the audio? Sound and video. Okay, perfect, guys. Thanks. Awesome, man. All right, so I hope you all can tell the difference. I actually bought a 4K streaming, what's it called, webcam this week. It's pretty damn expensive, but I figured after 10 episodes now, I still love doing this and I still enjoy doing it a lot. So I figured, why not invest a little money in it? What the hell, anyway, right? What is money? It's just dirty paper. Livestream is only set to 1080. Huh. Which camera is this? It is the Ozbot something. Or OBS Obsbot. It was one my friend suggested to me. The live stream is only set to, yes. So I set it to 1080p for now because of issues with hardwiring. But I'm going to try it in 4K next week. I'm still learning it. The good thing is, though, is that now, which is pretty awesome, if I get up really close, I have autofocus, which I didn't have on my other thing. So stuff gets in focus now really, really close up. So I can show close-up stuff, which is going to be awesome. Yeah, so welcome, everybody. We got Nick, we got Bob, we got Bob Mental, and Cosmin in here so far. So I'm going to start getting right to feeding. So today, we're going to talk about aquarium mops. Now, it's funny, mops are for people who can't handle the peat. Yeah, I guess you're sort of right. I don't like peat in my tanks, but for those of you who see, there's mops in pretty much every single one of my tanks. Most of the stuff I breed are mop spawners. The mops that I have been making are kind of off of what my dad used to make, and they're pretty simple, but there's a lot of things in an aquarium mop that can make it a pain in the butt to use. And we're going to go over everything. And then I promised a giveaway. I'm going to give away a couple of these to one of you guys at the end of the video. All right? And we're going to do it with some, I don't know, some fish trivia maybe. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to get to feeding real quick. What am I going to go tonight? I'm going to go some cobalt food because I want to get rid of this so I can utilize the thing. So I'm going to go cobalt tropical granules. I love cobalt foods, always have. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've cleaned out some of these top tanks. I've moved out all of the chili endlers, all of my black Moscow guppies. They were supposed to be Moscow guppies. I don't think they really were. So they bred true for like 2 or 3 generations, and then I started getting a lot of babies that did not look like the parents. So I decided instead of working with that strain, it wasn't a really awesome strain. I've had some amazing strains of Moscow guppies back in the early 2010s that I want to see if I can find something new and work with them. So for right now, I got rid of them. So my loss. Hopefully someone else will be able to work with that strain and get it going. And if not, well, I'm sure someone out there has to have good Moscows. Other exciting news, my blue Galaris, I set up the pair that I had down here in this tank, and I got 3 new pair. I have set them up in a suggested way that Fred Bierman told me how to do. So basically, he keeps them with no light on them. Now, I guess a lot of killies in the wild breed without a lot of light on them. And I think that's what I've been doing wrong, because for the first time ever, I was successful in getting a ton of blue Gularis eggs. And when I say a ton, I think I have 50 plus eggs this week, which is pretty awesome. I've never been able to breed that many of them before. And this is wonderful because I am just about out of this food. So I'll show you. Have you picked up any new strains? Yes, I have picked up new strains of guppies. We're going to get there. So with the blue Gularis, I'm going to show you right now. I have them. A couple of them are going bad. But I posted this photo on Instagram. You can see all the eggs. I'm just doing them over peat moss. There's my new webcam. But doing them over peat moss. And I have got a plethora of them now. So over 50 eggs I've picked in like 2 weeks, which is awesome. Hopefully they're doing good so far. Like a couple of them have fungus, but not all of them have. And literally I am doing them with no bubbles, no nothing, just on this lower rack here in bins. Barely any light, barely anything. Let's see if you can, you see them in there. A little bit of peat moss. So there, Cosmin, I do have peat moss in my tank, so ha. But they're loving the low light, and they are breeding. So new strains. I have picked up new strains of guppies. So these were from Bucks County, their auction, which was a crazy auction, by the way, like almost 1,000 lots. Let's see if you guys can see these really good. So this is a strain. Come on, guys, get up there. The males like to stay at the bottom of the tank, maybe. Oh no, top of the tank. This is a platinum white guppy. These were George Fears. I've known George since I was a little kid, and George raises some pretty cool stuff. I always was at his shop over in North Jersey as a kid. So I said, you know what? Why not? Let's try some of these. And then these, so they were labeled as like a red dragon guppy. You could see the male right there. Oh, the filter thing came off. I gotta fix that. They were labeled as a red dragon guppy. I'm not sure I would consider them a red dragon guppy, so I haven't really labeled it. I have the bag still. I'm trying to get a good close-up of that male. There he is right there. So, yeah, I don't know. What's up, Blue? Welcome. Hopefully you guys enjoy the new 4K, or well, it is a 4K camera, but we're streaming in 1080 right now. But still better than before. All right, so I got that. I've got some brine shrimp. I'm gonna do some of the brine shrimps, and then we're gonna get into making mops. I got a whole bunch of mop making stuff on this table. So, little trick for brine shrimp. I don't know if you know this, but take a flashlight, put a flashlight on it for like 10 minutes, and they all congregate towards the bottom. Cosmin, as you were saying before, I do have, I have been putting way more brine into my things. Like I said, I'm up to about 2 teaspoons now. Probably not as much as you still feed, but whatever. So how about you guys? Lou, I know you were at Bucks County's auction. Would you end up getting anything, or did you just end up selling? I'll tell you this, sellers did fantastic there. It was a good meeting. But I literally only bought 2 bags. I was running around going crazy the entire time helping, so I got 2 bags of guppies, and that's it. But that's okay, because I'm okay with having empty tanks so that I can eventually fill them. I cleaned out a bunch in these last 2 auctions so that I would have empty tanks going forward. All right. Look at that. But is that enough brine for you this time? Is that a good density? Let's go clean this out. And then I have adult brine shrimp as well that I want to feed off. Actually, let me do the adult brine shrimp first. This stuff's always disgusting, this water. So this is just frozen adult brine. I still had some in my freezer. I think this is the last of it. My Daphnia outside is just starting to bloom. I'm going to hope that within the next couple weeks we start getting warmer weather. Well, I know this week we're supposed to be in the 70s and 80s, which is kind of awesome. But I'm hoping to get great Daphnia blooms because I'm tired of feeding frozen foods. Because it's expensive. And it's not as nutritious as live stuff. You guys know that. All right. That's about how much I hatch for 4 small tanks. You son of a 4 small tanks. I got some black rams that I overpaid for, but it's okay. They were nice black rams though. And listen, Lou, you're a wizard at raising rams, so you'll get your money back on them. When they first came into the hobby, they were super popular. I remember that. They were very expensive. So I don't know what you paid for them. I know that there was like 1 per bag. So I'm assuming you believe you overpaid, but in reality, you really might not have. When it all comes down to it in the end. I'm excited to get the ponds going outside. I want to put my white clouds out. I want to put some other stuff out. Give these guys 2 squirts. A lot of Japanese blue-red guppies in there. I checked the blueberry snails. They're still alive in this tank that had my bumblebee gobies in there that I got rid of during Jersey Shore. I was not able to successfully breed the bumblebee gobies, even though I tried many different ways. But it is what it is. Scotty got all the cool lots at BCAS. He got the wildlife bears from Dan From. He got the fancy Caradina. Yeah, you're right. But Scotty paid for him this time. I was surprised. Thanks for helping. Yeah, no problem, Tom. It was a long day, but it was a good day. I'm gonna say that. I wasn't. I was definitely tired by the end of the day. I'm not sure if it was 65 or 45. The other two were around $20. Yeah, I think $20 is a really good price for a black ram, especially of that size. Have you sexed them yet and seen what they actually are? Like, did you get a pair, 2, or a trio, or I think you got 3 fish if I remember. So if you ended up getting even a pair, I think that's worth it. Because I know you'll get them out. And you'll get them breeding pretty quickly. Today is a nice relaxing night. Nothing crazy to do. We're just going to play with some yarn and feed some fish. That's it. But yeah, it was so this is my second or third time meeting Father Fish at fish club events, and it was funny. He came up to me this time, and I think I've met him once at the Clash, and I believe he spoke like a long time ago for one of the clubs because he's been around forever. But he was at the Bucks County auction. He actually recognized me. He's like, "You're the guy that feeds on YouTube," and I was like, "Holy shit, that's kind of awesome that you know who I am," because I'm literally a nobody. But it's fun hanging out with everybody. My right knee is still swollen. Grinding that stuff in the concrete floor. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I feel that every day, Tom. Them surgically repaired knees of mine. All right. I'm just going to off camera real quick here feed some brine shrimp to some of my adults that I have breeding. I just have some red dot Sheila over here, some blue Galaris females that I'm just fattening up before they go in with males. Fundula Pantrix Walker Eye, I just got those. And that's pretty much it. Everything else is going to get live brine. But yeah, it was it's always a long day, no matter what. Anytime you host an auction, it's a long day, which is like for Jersey Shore, that's kind of why we prefer trying to be around 350 lots. Just because then we could blow through it in 3.5, 4 hours and then be done. Rather than staying there till 7, 8 o'clock at night. Which we did. And as you guys have done auctions will probably know, there's only a certain amount of money in the room anyway. So I'm on the last thing feeding here, just doing some brine shrimp. At least one guy made over 1K. I guess. Definitely wasn't me. My lots aren't worth enough to input, 35 lots that you guys do and make $1,000. God, these CPDs are getting huge now. I'm definitely going to have to move them up in tanks. Let's see who gets live brine tonight. Pretty much everybody who's got fry. Everybody who has fry is getting live brine. So most of my guppies. So my Campoma 40 endlers, I got a really bad sex ratio on these guys when I got them. So I bought them at, I think, North Jersey from Kathy Maraca. When I took them home, I got 8 fish, and I winded up getting 7 males and 1 female out of 8 fish, which sucked. But the Campoma 40, they're like one of my favorite endlers so far, just because they look like a Santa Maria, but they're, instead of being red and black, they're red and really, really light blue. And so far, from my experience of all the Campomas, if you get pure strains, they breed true. I have the 42s, they bred true. I had the 48s. I ended up getting rid of the 48s because they bred really, really good, but this was last year. I got rid of them. However, they just looked like a regular Endler. So I was like, you know what? I really don't want to keep them because they look too close to my N classes that I got. Happy to say that my N class Endlers are doing really well. I'm definitely living out Clay's legacy of spreading these to as many people as I possibly can. I've been bringing about 2 pair to every club nowadays. Just cleaning some of the fingerprints off the glass. Yeah, so that's kind of what I got. Let's see, any other new fish? Besides the blue Galaris. Oh, I got some. I'll show you. These are a really, really cool live bearer. I promised myself that this time I would not screw with my wires, and I still did it, and my wires are all tangled. It's okay though. I got them untangled for you guys. All right, going over to the tank. So these are a live bearer that were available in the hobby a while ago. They're the black chins. They're new. I have never bred them before. Supposedly they're pretty easy. I have been they've been really fun to watch in the tank so far. So after a while, the males, I've got 3 males and 2 females. The males, their gonopodiums actually go forward, like they can literally whip them all the way around. And I mean, they've been chasing the females nonstop. So I'm assuming at some point, yeah, like see, they're ganging up all in that one female right now. I might have to put some ditherfish in here just to keep them from going nuts. But yeah, that's something else new I got. Nick, the short body blue koi tigers are doing really, really well. They still have these freaking fish are so gigantic. I don't know why they haven't dropped yet. But I think I still have 4 babies, which are all looking to be females except one, which is good. I'm okay with only 1 male and 3 females. But these guys are very, very not productive as a guppy, but I guess that's why they hold their value. All the short body guppies do that, from my experience so far. They all really, really do not have many fry. And when I mean many fry, I mean like 4 fry at once is what they got. So let's see. I do 3 teaspoons of baby brine shrimp every day, 3 feedings. Yeah, that's a lot of baby brine. I'm doing two teaspoons a day now. So we're going to talk about moving to a larger facility. Had to leave the center. Hard to leave the center as the entire day is free of charge, no limit. Also, oh man, you guys get that place for free? That's freaking awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to beat free. It really is. So, all right, we're 20 something minutes in now, so let's make some fish mops. So I'm going to show you the way that I do it. This is the same exact way my dad did it for years. My dad was a killie breeder in North Jersey for basically forever. He has since gotten into gardening and doing other things like playing with my daughter, and he just, not that he doesn't have any interest in breeding fish anymore. I just think that, he did it so much that he lost interest in it. So right, there we go. All right, so killing, well, just egg spawning mops. So my mops, this is how big I like them, roughly enough that you can get it within 2 hands. And the reason I like them that size is because if you look at a 10-gallon tank, and that's kind of where I put my mops, they almost go to the bottom, but they don't. You got about maybe 2 inches. And the same thing for a 5-gallon tank. For a 5-gallon tank, they'll pretty much almost touch the bottom. You have a little bit of room. So there's a lot of ways of making these, and there's no way that's the best way. This is my preferred way, just because of a couple of reasons. So I have seen many people make mops in the past, and the one thing that they do that always bugs me is they make this area too tight. Fish actually like this area to be a little looser because they will spawn in this if you put it underneath the water. In addition to that, a lot of fish love to spawn in this area, so you don't want to make this area too tight, because then you'll end up with eggs outside of the mop instead of in the mop, and then that's what you end up with, fish being predatory towards their eggs. And now keep in mind, this is geared towards killifish. Okay. Let's see. Those are gorgeous. Yeah, they are. Good to see your dad at the North Jersey meeting. Yeah, I dragged him out of the house. So I make this mop a couple different ways. So, well, let's first start with tools. Scissors, self-explanatory. Wire. This is just cotton or copper wire that I buy at the store. It is pure copper. It is expensive, but one spool of it lasts you a really long time if you're only using a foot at a time for the wire. All right. Razor knife, and then sometimes a scalpel if the razor knife is not sharp enough. Wire nippers. This is a good pair of them. CHP Quality Tools on Amazon. They're pretty decently cheap. Then you need something to wrap them around. My dad used to always use a book. I have found that a tackle box actually works better. This is all my plumbing fittings for the fish room, but I use the tackle box because it has a little lip right here, and you could slide the wire in after the fish, if you make the wire net. All right. And then you're going to need a drill with some sort of attachment on it. Now, my drill, I have a little screw with a little eye hole. And you'll see it right there. That eye hole is what takes the wire and twists it really, really nice so that you get that really, really fine wire. And this is nice. So a lot of people make mops with corks in the top to float them. Some people just use strands of string up here. I do not like using strands of string because I think the correct term is capillary action takes effect, to where if you have this in the tank and that string is lower than the water line of the tank, so say the water line's here, water can wick out of the string and onto the floor, and before you know it, you have gallons of water on your floor. So that's why I use a pure copper string. Or pure copper wire. In addition to that, copper wire is very flexible. You can bend it pretty much indefinitely. I have some of these mops that my dad had 30 years ago, and are still working. And yeah, that's kind of what I do to make it. So we're going to make a couple today. And then, like I said, we're going to do a little game later on. And the winner after the entire game is going to get some free mops. So the type of yarn is pretty important. You want to use 100% acrylic yarn. The brand I found doesn't really matter, but I did find that like wool, like you can't use wool. Wool is hydrophobic and will prevent water from actually being absorbed into the fibers, whereas this is not. So I have 5 things of yarn in here. I have a camo. I have, and you notice I do them alternate. So I have a camo. I have a light green. I have another camo with different colors in it. Then I have an OD green. And then I have brown, white, and green natural color one. So the whole purpose of this is to just get a mop that is as multicolored as possible. Just because well, I'm not sure if this makes any difference, but in nature, you know, there's not going to be one solid colored, you know, everything is multicolored in nature for the most part. So this is what I do. I literally take it. I have a special area in the tackle box where I just hold it in with my finger like that, and that lip really helps. And then I wind. Now, if you're doing 5 strands, you want 25 winds. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 19, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. All right. So now at 25 rounds, what I do is I take it from here and I snip that somewhere off at the bottom. You don't want to go too close because, like I said, you kind of want it to lay flat there. From there, we got the wire, and I'll cut off about a foot. You could do more, you can do less. It all depends on how much you want. Okay. Now from there, I take the wire, and remember I said there's that little area of the tackle box right here that you could feed the wire through? That's exactly what I do. I take it, I feed it through that until it comes to the other side. And then boom. All right. Now this area up here is the area that you want to make tighter on the mop, because this is what's technically going to be holding everything together. So the way that I do it is I grab my drill, I just put in a couple of things, I just twist it 2 or 3 times. It doesn't really matter as long as it gets held on. Okay. Then I'm going to take this. This is awkward to do on camera, but I'm going to twist. Now, I'm not going to do this all the way tight at this time, okay? So from here now, I have the box. I'm going to take my scalpel, just because it's right here, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut the other side. And I really like the scalpel. These are surgical scalpels, by the way. You can buy them on Amazon. They are probably the sharpest thing that you can buy. And they're really awesome for doing mops because they cut really nice and simple. All right, so then you end up with that. And this is going to look easy because I've done this 1,000 times. All right. Now, the good thing about making a mop like this, like I said, is first of all, you're burying all the loose ends within the mop. So all of those loose ends that I got in the beginning are buried up in here, which the fish actually like. All right. So now that I got the mop like this, I'll get it a little bit tighter. And then I'm going to take another thing of string. This is just regular yarn. I'm going to cut it off. And this is where I'm going to make my mop head. When you do this on a table that's not a fish table that's wobbly, or I guess this is a card table, it's a lot easier. So I take my mop head, and like I said, I like making a big knot up here. So I do one thing loosely, then I go around, make another knot, pull it a little tight, not too much. Remember, I said we don't want to make that thing too tight. The third knot is not going to tighten the second knots. So I do this knot 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. So like I said, that knot doesn't really tighten anything else. Then I almost forgot. I will take this and I will snip this off right here without snipping anything else off. Discard of those 2 little pieces, and those are the only waste that you're going to have. So whatever piece of strand you're using is the only waste. Now, at the end of this, that's where I make that tight. I undo this. Clip this off at the end. And there we go. That's a mop. So, like I said, this is just how I do it. Doesn't mean you have to do it this way. Just found that this is what works best for me over the years. And most fish are pretty stupid when it comes to them, but you know, they'll breed in almost anything. But I have found that some fish are a little particular. So, what's up, Anna? Nice to see you. We're making mops right now. So there's mop number 1 that will be given away. We're going to do this 2 more times. And then we'll do a little bit of trivia. Now, once you get in the groove of this, you can really do it very quickly. So like I said, put the 5 strings. Did you see how doing it this way, keeping the yarn in like a box, like you don't have to use this exact box, but keeping the yarn in a box like this is super easy for it. 25 turns. 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 12, 13, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Did I say 24 or 25? I meant 25. When I was dealing with mops, I'd make them without mop heads. I had some diaptherums that would lay eggs right in the knot. So I like to be completely able to open it. I agree with you on that, and we're going to do one like that just because I do also make mops like that for fish that are very particular. Like I said, there's a lot of fish that like to spawn at the absolute, like my striatum, like literally spawn like sometimes on top of this. So keeping this, you know, a little loose so that they can, well, not that loose, but a little bit loose so that they can get into it is like a good thing sometimes. So, but yeah, we'll make one right now that doesn't have a lid. This way we're doing something at least a little different. When I normally make them without, I do a little bit more wire than normal. But the process is basically the same. You know, I'm sliding the wire in here. I'm taking it. That might be a little too much, but that's okay. I'll just waste a couple inches of wire there. I put it on the thing. Make it somewhat tight so that it doesn't fall off. And then we're gonna try my my X-Acto or razor blade here. This is just like a dollar store blade too. It's like nothing that, you know, I really should get a good quality one because this one kind of sucks when it comes to anything, but whatever. Mr. D. Superman, I worked at Ed's Aquarium the same time as your dad, 1970s. Found out when we met in 2014. Oh, wow, that's awesome. I don't know who your name is, but I know that my dad definitely did work there. See what I mean? Like I just like the scalpel so much better. It's so much sharper. God, Ed's Aquarium. I haven't heard that name in a while. See, I always thought my dad was fibbing when he told me the stories about all the aquariums he used to work at. No, I knew he wasn't, but... All right, so now we're going to do that. We're going to cut it off, and there's another form of a mop that you can make. So this one, like Cosmin was saying, there's no anything. There's no top to it. If you have fish that really, really like to spawn at the top of the tank, this is a good mop for them. And like I said, 125 turns is the key. I made this a little long, but that's okay. It's just unnecessary in a 10 to 20 gallon or 5 to 20 gallon tank. That's normally how long I like to make them, about enough to where like I said, you could just barely hook them onto the side of the tank, but no harm in adding a little extra. So, and the cool thing about using these types of yarns too that have all these different colors to them is look at the variation in the mops too. So this is the one we just made before. Not a lot of white in it because we aren't on a white area of the mop. And then boom, this one has a ton of white in it. So I don't know. Does it make a difference? It may or may not. But it is what it is. So I always cut the end nub off just because it looks like crap. And you're only really utilizing or wasting that much. It's really not much. So last mop right now. Like I said, there's a lot of different ways you can do them. You can put a cork in the hood, so you could wrap all of this around a cork and make it to where it's a true floating mop. I have seen people 3D print little floating things to act as corks, basically. I'm working on a couple designs right now. I printed a couple prototypes up, but I haven't really liked it. They've just been too weak and inefficient for the mops that I have. So I'm still trying to figure out a good design for it. Keep in mind, I'm not really a designer. I just like to pretend I know a little bit about 3D printing. So, all right, last one. 2. Okay, $25. And this is how this gets stored, basically, too, which is kind of awesome. All right, I got to pull up my my trivia. Really doesn't recognize me with my headset on. I forgot to mention before, I will ship these out to whoever wins. However, within the United States, I'm not spending $80 to ship something out. That's, you know, we're not that big yet. All right. I'm not sure who is in here or if anybody else is from any parts of the world / United States that I don't know about. Whoops, that came off. That's okay, though. All right. So we got that. We're going to cut it, and we're going to finish it, and then we're done making mops. So that's how I do them, guys. It's pretty simple. Nothing crazy. When it comes down to it, all you're doing is balling up yarn. You know? That's all it is. Making yarn so that fish think that's a good area they want to lay their babies in. And we're going to do a head on this mop. Some people like tighter heads on mops. Like I said, I don't. Because I like for them to have as much area as humanly possible to lay. And I think that the tighter the areas, the more it limits them. So I'm good luck. Been trying to catch the honeycomb plecos since the auction. I look over right now and it was laying in the net right next to the tank. Get out of here, dude. All I'm saying is that whenever I'm around you, bro, fish breed. Or whenever you get fish from me, they breed like instantly. Also just goes to prove you buy from good breeders. Or people that you know in the hobby that take care of their stuff and feed consistently and really, really makes a difference. Or pet shops that buy from those people. There are a lot of great pet shops out there that do that. So like I said, the first knot, do as loose as possible. The second knot just snugs it up a little bit. And then normally by the third knot, you're really not tightening anymore. And then I triple knot the third knot. And that's what locks it into place. And you could even, like last time I cut the tag ends off, you can even leave these on and just literally make them part of the mop like that too. Doesn't really matter. So that's it. That's mop making. Appreciate you guys sitting here probably during a very boring 20 minutes. But like I said, you guys might all know and be experts and have better things than I do. There might be someone that views this video later on that has never built one of these before. And this video is for both your enjoyment and their knowledge. So, bam, 3 different mops. All going out to someone today. So let's do fish trivia, right? Let's see if I can get this. All right, so the rules are going to be pretty simple, guys, right? So you have to type it in the chat in order to get a point. I'm going to do 10 questions, and the most points wins. All right. And I had something up, but then my phone ended up deleting it. So now I got to find the website again because it was a pretty good website. Oh my God. Remind me to print shit out next time. I'm really, really bad at doing that. Might have to audible and just go to something else. All right, we're audibling, guys. We're going to do the ultimate tropical fish quiz. Okay. All right, here I am getting ready for mop trivia. Not a single mop spawner in my tanks. No, not mop trivia. All right, so can't find the one I did, but I am going to start the quiz now. So it's the way it's going to work. I'm going to read the question. There's going to be 3 answers. Okay. I'm going to show the answer on the board, and then you guys are going to type in what you think the answer is. The first person that guesses the correct answer in order gets the point for the round. Okay. So I will keep track right over here on my little notebook that I have. All right, you guys ready? All right, so what is the average lifespan of tropical fish kept in an aquarium? Is it A, 2 to 3 months, B, 2 to 3 years, or C, 2 to 3 decades? The average lifespan of a tropical fish kept in an aquarium. A, 2 to 3 months, B, 2 to 3 years, or C, 2 to 3 decades? So we got Cosmin first at B, Anna second with B. So 2 to 3 years. Bob just says average. My wife trying to win some mops that I make for free. By the way, today is the 15th anniversary of us dating. Kind of crazy. And this is what I'm choosing to do. Okay, so we have, it looks like everybody has answered B. The answer is 2 to 3 years. So Cosmin, you get a point. You're at 1. All right. When did tropical fish become a popular hobby in the United States? After World War I, after World War II, or after the Korean conflict? So when did tropical fish become a popular hobby in the United States? After World War I, after World War II, or after the Korean conflict? A, B, or C? World War I number 2, World War II number, I'm sorry, World War I is A, after World War II is B, and after the Korean conflict is C. Okay, so we have Cosmin at B, Anna at C, Nick at A. All right, so it's either going to be Cosmin, Anna, or Nick. All right, so I think it's after World War II. And that is the correct answer. So it's, oh, sorry, should have showed you. So it's after World War II is when tropical fish became popular in the United States. So Cosmin, starting off strong, buddy. That's 2. I don't know what we're going to do if there's a tiebreaker. We're going to have to, I don't know, make you guys fight or something. All right. Most tropical fish range between what size and what size? Okay. I need to slow down or end up end up with mops. All right. Most tropical fish range between what size? 1 to 5 centimeters is A. 1 to 5 inches is B. Or 1 to 5 feet is C. Anna first with B. Becky first with A. Come on, someone throw C in there. You got a chance to win it if it's 1 to 5 feet. All right, I've waited the 30 seconds. All right, so it's all right. So Anna said B first. We're gonna do B. So it's 1 to 5. Come on, focus. 1 to 5 inches, we say, is the correct answer. So Anna, you have 1 point. Cosmin with 2. Anna with 1. All right. According to a popular study done in Tropical Fish Hobbyist magazine, which freshwater, why do people prefer keeping freshwater fish over saltwater? Is it A, freshwater tanks are easier to maintain, B, freshwater tanks are prettier, or C, freshwater fish live longer? Okay, so we got Superman at B, right? Nick, I'm sorry, yeah, Nick at A. And no one chose live longer. All right, so it's either Nick or Mr. Superman this time. So we're going to choose first. Freshwater tanks are easier to maintain? Yes. That's it. It is A. So Nick, you got a right? Hold on. Where are we at? Nick, right? Yes, Nick got a point. Yeah, Superman was from last round, but he still had B. All right. I'm gonna just type something in between rounds so I don't lose. All right. All right. Next up, how many varieties of freshwater fish are there in the hobby and that have been successfully kept in aquariums? Is it 150, 1,500, or 15,000? 150, 1,500, or 15,000? 1,500 people are saying. Bob says 15,000. And I think we all know it's more than 150. I mean, come on, there's more than 150 strains of guppies out there. All right, so it's either going to be Cosmin with B or Bob with C. So let's go with Bob's answer this time and see what C says. No, 1,500. B is correct. Cosmin, you got another point. For someone that really doesn't want mops, you're going to get a ton of mops, buddy. Of the 1,500 varieties of tropical fish, next question. Hold on, let me clear it out. I'll just type something. All right. Of the 1,500 varieties of tropical fish in the home aquarium, how many are readily available on the market today? Is it, come on, 100, 300, or 500? 100, 300, or 500? Cosmin with C. You guys got to be quick. Nick, come on, you're a millennial. How are you letting somebody else beat you? You should be bam every time. All right, so the answer was C. Your Gen. Oh yeah, I forgot you're younger than me. Correct answer is C. Cosmin, man, that's 4 correct answers. But at least you're not eating Tide Pods. At least you're raising fish. So I have respect for you. All right. What is? Oh, are you lagging? Sorry, bud. You guys are making me feel old. Hey, listen, I'm still a child of the '80s. All right. It may have been the last year of the '80s, but I still got it. All right. Next up, what is the most popular aquarium fish that is kept? Is it A, the pufferfish, B, the goldfish, or C, the angelfish? Pufferfish, goldfish, angelfish. There we go, Nick. You see, that's how fast that's the type of commitment I want there. So we got pretty unanimously saying goldfish. We have Eileen coming in saying the puffer. Just because Murphy was a popular fish doesn't mean he's the most popular in the hobby, just saying. But anyway, we're going to go with the goldfish. Hold on. Oh, I forgot this camera tracks my face. The goldfish is correct. That is the number 1. So, Nick, you got 1. So now, Nick, you're up to 2. Anna, you're at 1. And Cosmin, you're still at 4. Okay. Why should you not keep a fish in a fishbowl? Is it because fish bowls are ugly? Fish bowls don't have the proper openings? Or fish bowls are not sturdy? I'm not sure if I like this question. Bob with C, Cosmin with C, Mr. Superman with A, and In My Tanks with B. All right, so we got a whole bunch of people. Yeah, honestly, I don't know what it is. I'm just going to click one. Oh, wow. Fish bowls do not have the proper open. I don't know if I agree with that. You know what? Everybody gets a point. Right? Because honestly, every one of those fish bowls are freaking ugly. They don't have the proper openings, and they definitely are not sturdy. So, sorry, I missed the question. Okay, so Bob gets a point. Cosmin, you have enough points. Do I give Cosmin a point? Point. Superman, 1 point. Nick, 1 point. Who else answered? Are these ChatGPT? No, they're just from a website. Nick, I know, I got you. I got your point, dude. You got 3. All right. Everybody who answered got a point. Just saying. All right. I think I got everybody. If you didn't answer, you get no points. Sorry. All right. The last question is going to be worth 2 points, by the way. I just got to check and make sure. Oh, there's like a lot more than 10 questions here. It's very interesting. Okay. All right, let's just keep going till my lights turn off. All right, what is the proper relationship between size of fish and volume of water? Okay. Let me type in a thing. All right. Is it 1 gallon per 1 inch of fish, 1 gallon per fish, or 1 gallon per 3 fish? What is the proper ratio? See, this is howstuffworks.com. All right, Cosmin with A, Nick with C, Anna with A. At least that's what we tell the new. Yeah, that's what we tell the newbies. Meanwhile, here I am with 60 CPDs in a 1 gallon tank. All right. So I believe it's A. It says it's A, 1 gallon per 1 inch of fish. So Cosmin, you got it. That's 5 points, Cosmin. I don't think anybody can catch up. Actually, wait a minute. I'm going to make this question worth 2 points. This way people can catch up. All right, we'll make 2 more questions, and they'll each be 2 points each. How about that? Make it 5 points. All right. If you have 5 fish, each of which is 1 inch long, how many square inches of water surface must you have? Oh, now they're getting into frickin' math. If you have 5 fish, each of which is 1 inch long, how many square inches of water surface must you have? Yeah, right? What the hell, math? If Steven has 3 oranges and 2 fish, and one of the fish eat an orange and then dies, how many potatoes did you eat last week? It's like freaking this question. Yeah, I know, Lou. But Lou changes water every 3 minutes. So, all right, B, A, C, B. All right, so we have Cosmin with B, Bob with A, and Nick with C. So I'm just going to click C. It's 120 square inches. Nick, you got the answer to that. That's 2 points. You are now tied with Cosmin. All right, so this is the next answer. So it's going to be between Nick and Cosmin, okay? So I want you guys both to answer this now, okay? So Nick and Cosmin only. This is your tiebreaker round, okay? And then the winner gets 3 fish mops. If you use an aerator, you can increase the natural capacity of your tank by how much? You can double its capacity, you can triple its capacity, or you could quadruple its capacity by using an aerator. I'm assuming they mean like a bubbler, because this adds oxygen to the water. All right, so Nick says B, Cosmin says C. All right, so it's B or C. What do we think it is? Yeah, I don't know. This is just, what do you want from me? It's A! Both of you were wrong. Who got it? Superman got it. Superman now has 2 points. Oh, man, we got to go to another question because, like I said, either Cosmin or, what's it called? Cosmin or Nick have to win. Well, because you guys have 5 points. So, and we can't leave it tied. All right. All right. Why? All right. So here's the next question. All right. Let me clear all this off. All right. Why should you keep a freshwater tank out of direct sunlight? All right. Sunlight will cause the water in the tank to get too hot. Sunlight will cause algae to grow, or sunlight will hurt the fish's eyes. Cosmin with A, Nick with B. All of the above with the other Nick. A and B are correct. Yeah. All right. Whoever. All right. So we're going to choose one and we're going to see what the answer is. Sunlight will cause algae to grow. Nick, you won, my friend. Congratulations. Cosmin, sorry. You got beat by a Gen Zer. Listen, sunlight can cause the water to get too hot, but it might not. And also, sunlight could hurt the fish's eyes, but it might not. And sunlight could cause algae to grow, but it might not. So these questions are stupid. That's why I hate trivia. But either way, you won. Congratulations, Nick. You let me know. I will be at the Mako meeting at Trunkowski's house in May. I can either meet you there in May, and I could give you the mops, or email me, and I'll get your address, and I'll ship them out to you. themetaswitchroom@gmail.com. Thank you guys for playing. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate everybody once again. Give me some ideas for any and something for next week, because I'm running out of stuff. I will always find stuff, but as of right now, I'm drawing a blank. So if there's something in the hobby you want me to talk about, even if I know nothing about it, I'll talk about it for an hour. I'm very good at making stuff up. All right, so I appreciate everybody. I'm just going to read the last couple comments. Math questions were outrageous. I agree with you on that. I think Cosmin just didn't want them option through last minute. That could definitely be the case. No, I played to win. I was going to ask for a 3D printed metal. 3D printed, I could do that. You know what, Cosmin? I'll think about it. I'll see if I can do it. Most of those answers are open to interpretation. I agree. A pitcher plant tour. If you want me to do that, I can do that next week. If you want me to do a carnivorous plant tour, I have like 250 to 300 nepenthes in my office. And I have them flowering, and I'm breeding them currently. So if that's something you guys are interested in, yeah, it is fun. I will say it's been a much longer struggle than fish keeping has been. I have been keeping them for 8 years, and this is the first year I've gotten flowers in 8 years. So, all right, so we got drilling tanks, optimizing filters, and nepenthes. Or we'll do the nepenthes tour. Do you have any pings? I'm trying to. No, I do not have any pings at all. So, all right, I don't want to talk. I don't want to keep you guys much longer than it is. I appreciate you guys every week joining me. Next week we'll have a fun stream just talking about carnivorous pitcher plants, and we'll do that. So thank you all. Remember, reach out to me if you have anything fun that you might want to trade. metasfishroom@gmail.com. I'm on Reddit, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on here. So thank you all. I will see you when I see you. Nick, reach out to me.